Hi, I'm Craig Marshall, owner of MSA Travel Africa. In these difficult times of COVID and travel changing globally and shifting more towards local travel and local self-drive travel, we're producing a series of route books called Backcountry Southern Africa that help you discover the hidden secrets of South Africa and the garden route and maximize your travel time. In this video, we'll take you on a journey to various parts of different routes and showcase some of the hidden secrets, the twisted mountain passes, incredible scenery, and various other places that you must see if traveling the garden route of South Africa. Like and share this video and subscribe to our channel if you want to keep up with our travels and discover the hidden secrets with us.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Fugard, Accommodation Manager for MSA Travel Africa. Join Craig and I as we travel around the garden route in the Route 62, showcasing the best accommodation and dining experiences that this region has to offer. Having experienced these places together and personally, we can highly and confidently recommend them to you. Come and travel with us.
So how do we use these route books? Well, there's the printed route book. There's the downloadable GPX track for your GPS, and there's the Google Maps links that you can use on your mobile phone or tablet. Plus, in addition, if you check the links in the video below, you will be able to download the Tracks for Africa Guide app, which will also assist you to find camping sites, alternative accommodation, places to eat, fuel, and everything right on your fingertips on your mobile phone. The other thing about using these route books is that we will give you the correct route for the correct experience that you have. Whether you're driving a 4x4, SUV or motorcycle, you don't want to end up on a route that's too technically difficult for you because you've done your planning incorrectly. So we've categorized the routes into easy, intermediate and difficult. And the route book is in 3 different colors. The green is the easy route, blue is intermediate, and red is for the more advanced 4x4 drivers and motorcyclists. Places like Baviaanskloof, Gysmanshoek, otherwise known as Die Hel, or Outeniqua. These areas are very technical riding and quite dangerous if you're an intermediate rider. So it's very important in your route planning that you ride the correct route for your experience and for the vehicle or motorcycle that you're driving. Kirsten and I traveled on the garden route and Route 62 for 14 days by motorcycle to film and highlight some of the incredible hidden locations, the accommodation and cuisine, and the network of back gravel roads and mountain passes featured in the route book. All 3 routes start in Cape Town and visit Cape Agulhas on the first day, a 3.5 to 5 hour journey through the backcountry roads of the Overberg and along the rugged Cape coastlines. Route 1, being all tar, ends the day at Mermaid Guesthouse in Stray Spy, after visiting the southernmost tip of Africa and the Maishu Maru shipwreck. For those doing routes 2 and 3 and have the ability and suitable vehicle to drive or ride on gravel roads, will overnight at the enchanting De Hoop Nature Reserve.
The The sought-after De Hoop collection in the Overberg region offers a nature-loving traveller a one-stop accommodation experience amidst vast Renosterveld, abundant in breathtaking fauna and flora. A short drive from the accommodation takes one to the magnificent coastline and bright white rolling sand dunes in the Korpiallion area. The high dunes offer the perfect vantage point for southern right whale watching. From exceptionally well-maintained campsites, self-catering rondavels and chalets, the De Hoop collection caters to all accommodation preferences and budgets. The on-site restaurant provides delectable breakfasts, lunches and dinners for those wishing to relax in a spacious dining area overlooking the beautiful rolling lawns and De Hoop Vlei. From sunrise to sunset, the De Hoop collection offers an inviting activity for all outdoor enthusiasts. These include wildlife and birdlife watching, swimming, mountain biking and day hikes. Relax, unwind and savour the peace and quiet of this magical property set in an unspoilt environment.
The next section of our journey took us on the second day of Route 3, from De Hoop, heading east along the gravel roads across the famous Malgas pontoon. Unfortunately, at the time of shooting this documentary, the new motorized Malgas pontoon had been closed for several months. It never even got approved by the South African Maritime Safety Association. So now the pontoon has been closed again and nobody can get through. Now, the way around is incredibly long. You have to go all the way up to Swellendam and then right the way around. Whereas from here, you can cut diagonally through and continue to follow the coastal gravel roads. It was announced on social media recently that the new pontoon is now open as of the 25th of March 2021. We continue through the back mountains of Heidelberg via Gysmanshoek Pass Oxwagon Trail. So when it comes to backcountry riding, there's very few that can come close to where we are right now, and that is inside Gysmanshoek Pass. You will not be able to get through here in a normal vehicle. You will probably need a 4x4 or an adventure motorcycle. It is on our red route, it is on route number 3, and it's definitely not something that normal vehicles or inexperienced motorcyclists would be able to do. After passing through Gysmanshoek and traversing the Langeberg mountain range, we enter the Outeniqua, home of the well-known Bonniedale holiday farm, a firm favourite with off-road bikers and weekend 4x4 enthusiasts. What is the story of the Outeniqua?
The first documented traveller to come through here was Isak Schrijver, Ensign Isak Schrijver. He was sent out by Simon van der Stel to look for the gold of the Menemetorpus. He came through and was shown a route by the Gerika Kwekwe through these mountains. It was basically an elephant migration route. Elephant can only walk in a certain gradient, so it was easy for the wagons to get through. He came through with 12 wagons.
When was that? What year was it?
1689.
Wow.
And thereafter it became the main road to the north for 180 years. It was a very well-used route. There's an old toll house on Bonniedale, which they recorded 4,285 ox wagons passed through there in 1845.
We're at Bonniedale Holiday Farm, just outside of Mossel Bay, completely off the beaten track in the most beautiful, beautiful surroundings. You are honestly sitting in a space where nature is right in your face. Behind me is the gorgeous historical farmhouse, and in the farmhouse are 3 B&B rooms, 2 of which are en suite. When one arrives here, the expectation should not be for 4-star or 5-star accommodation, rather comfortable, clean accommodation, and just a place to really revel in nature. These are the 5 military tents right on the river's edge. Great bra facilities, wonderful for big groups. Each of them sleeps 10 people, so you can have as many as 50 people in this whole area. And there's a fabulous larper right on the water's edge. Self-catering accommodation is available in a large 16-sleeper chalet with its own private swimming pool, as well as in equipped caravans. Discover Bushman paintings in the caves, enjoy a cup of naturally grown honeybush tea, and swim in crystal clear rock pools or the main campsite dam. After leaving Bonniedale Farm and traversing the gravel roads back to the R328, be sure to stop at the delightful Boertjie Bistro in Rotebos. The wood-fired thin base pizzas are exceptional with unexpected topping combinations.
The route out of the Outeniqua Kloof takes us across the R328 and through a network of gravel roads in the Mossel Bay agricultural and dairy farm region. Continuing through George, joining a short section of the old Seven Passes route down onto the ever-spectacular wilderness coastline.
Stay true to that fire in your heart and your soul. Don't drench your desire in what you can't control. We fly, try so hard to get there, and we might be lost but not forever. There's things in life you simply need to know, but sun and rain and trust in letting go. It takes a bit of suffering, sleepless nights and wandering, before you make it safely to the end, the end, the
I'm sitting on the veranda of the Bird Haven Chalet at Wilderness Bushcamp in Wilderness on the garden route. We woke up to the most phenomenal sunrises this morning. Obviously we had our cameras out and we were shooting time lapses. The cottage itself is 2-bedroom, beautifully decorated, lovely linen, comfortable beds, stylishly decorated, a kitchen that is fully equipped, so if you do decide to self-cater, it has everything that you need. Important to note is when you are approaching Wilderness Bushcamp is the drive up to the facility is extremely steep. There's a very steep, curvy driveway, and if you're an inexperienced rider, you might have a problem in those sharp corners. Do be aware of that. Whether you're in a vehicle or on a motorcycle, you need to be able to maneuver yourself up that driveway adequately, but it certainly is worth it at the end of the day. It's absolutely beautiful here. It's our first visit and we cannot wait to come back. It's just comfortable home away from home accommodation.
About sun and rain and trust in letting go.
With some wet weather approaching, we headed away from the coast into the historical Montagu Pass, featured on Route 3, Day 5, the Kamanasi loop back to Outeniqua Mountain Lodge in Prince Alfred Pass. Opened in 1848, it was the only passage between George and Oudtshoorn. This historical route is the oldest unaltered pass still in use in South Africa. Nowadays, it's probably one of the most used passes on the garden route. Accessible by most vehicles, the easy gravel pass is a spectacle not to be missed. The old tollhaus serves as a coffee and pancake shop and is filled with memorabilia from a bygone era. It's an absolutely spectacular gravel pass, also back from the 1800s, and it's still in great condition. You can drive it even in a normal car. Most adventure motorcycles will get up here. In fact, you could probably do it on a road bike, but I wouldn't really test that. In the background there, high up on the ledges, is the current Outeniqua Pass, which is the main common pass between George and Oudtshoorn. We've got it on Route 3 on day number 5. It's a loop through the Kamanasi and down this pass and back through George and back through the 7 passes and up through the forests of Nysa. So this is the old historical railway bridge in the Montagu Pass. It's been several hundred years since trains have gone overhead here, but the bridge still remains, and although it's full of graffiti, it's still an exceptionally beautiful bridge by all means, and very well photographed. Most of the bikers, most people that come past here in cars and SUVs and 4x4s, everybody stops to shoot pictures of this classic old bridge. One of our favourite sections of the garden route has to be the mystical Old Cape Road in Komse Pad, winding its way through the indigenous Knysna forest, a region of over 3,100 square kilometres of untouched, dense natural forest, estimated at over 2,000 years old. The route is rich in history, and evidence of old elephant paths still remain today. The existence of the Knysna elephants is often considered a myth. However, as recently as 2019, photographs from hidden camera traps have proven the tales to be true. It's on paths like this behind me that we can see now, deep inside the Knysna forest, where the legendary Knysna elephants are moving apparently. So when they find fresh dung and when they find pictures of the elephants on the camera traps, then they know they're in this area. But having a look down at the forest where we were just now from the top of the Spitskop viewpoint, there's hundreds of kilometers of incredibly dense forest just like this, and there's no way you'd find an elephant. I mean, we've been in forests where elephants are 20 meters away and you still can't see them, and they move very, very quietly. So it's really incredible to think that there's still elephants living in these forests. There is perhaps only one female remaining, but in other areas fresh dung has been found and tests confirm its DNA to be male. After joining the R339 from Knysna, the well-known Prince Alfred Pass, we weave our way through the twisted gravel road to the overnight stop at Outeniqua Mountain Lodge in De Vlucht, one of my personal favorites, and for nature lovers, this location is a highlight.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide.
We're at the very beautiful Outeniqua Mountain Lodge, and we're just on our way back to our chalet after a fabulously refreshing swim in the rock pools.
Won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our marks to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're.
I'm here with Ingo Venneman. He is the owner of Outeniqua Mountain Lodge, which is situated in De Vlucht in the Prince Alfred's Pass. Ingo, tell us about the farm and tell us about this incredible location.
It's been
built by Thomas Bain in 1860 to 1865. It was housed originally as a tourist stop, actually, for lawyers and doctors who traveled from Knysna to Uniondale. One day horse cart ride on the pass, the Prince Alfred's Pass. This was the halfway house. They slept in this very house that you slept in last night, and the next day they would proceed to Uniondale with fresh horses. So that's part of the history of that. It's built by Thomas Bain while he was building the pass, and the reason for the pass was to connect wood producing area Knysna with the admin area of then British South Africa, which was the headquarters were Uniondale.
And that was in which year? That was in the 1800s, right?
1860 to 1865.
So the watermill that we looked at earlier, how old is that watermill?
That watermill is roughly, what is it? It was built 1860. So 1860, the water wheel was brought in the 1870s in one piece all the way from Liverpool and brought here by Oxwagon.
Set on the scenic Prince Alfred's Pass, Outeniqua Mountain Lodge is a mere 55 kilometers from Plettenberg Bay in Knysna. This self-catering property offers the traveller a welcome break from city life in an off-the-grid, tranquil location. The 4 6-sleeper lodges provide comfortable, attractively furnished accommodation in an unspoilt mountain setting. Giselle, thank you so much for having Craig and I again. It's always such a pleasure to be here in your beautiful space. Please tell us a little bit more about the retreats that you've had here in the past. I believe it's quite a new initiative, and where you hope to go to in terms of future retreats.
Hi Kirsten, yes, thank you for being here. It's lovely to have you. Yes, the retreats are fairly new to us. We've had a couple of very successful retreats here. We've had a 10-day women's retreat and a 5-day women's retreat. Women that have come from all over the world. It is really a beautiful experience, and it's so remote and so peaceful and so private that you find that with that type of work, it's so spiritual that the quiet here really resonates with these people to find that peace that they need coming out of the cities, and you just need that breakaway and that reset.
So if you're like me and you're a lover of nature and the outdoors, I mean, part of all these routes that we do, sure, it is motorcycling and it's biking and it's beer drinking and it's everything else that you want it to be. But for us, for myself and Kirsten, we're more nature lovers. And when we get to a new destination, it's not so much about the beer and the braai and falling asleep. For us, it's about discovering new locations, taking a hiking path, walking up the riverbeds and going and swimming in an ice-cold rock pool, then coming back and having a beer. So in all of these locations we're going to take you to, there's so many different things you can do, so many different hikes and adventure activities. It's really about discovering what else there really is out there, not just about the gravel roads and about the bike you're riding and about how technical it was. That's for the fireplace. For us, it's about getting to a new location, discovering something new. A few minutes ago we disturbed a massive eland, and unfortunately I wasn't able to switch the camera on in time to capture it. And this was a one-horned eland that I had filmed in our camp a few nights ago. And we just walked on this path to the rock pools now, and it was right in front of us, about 5 meters away. Those kinds of experiences you're only likely to get if you go exploring. So part of what we do is we explore. Wherever we go, we explore new places, we explore mountains and rock pools and forests and pretty much anything we can find. It's part of the adventure. We left the splendor of Outeniqua Mountain Lodge and headed up the Prince Alfred Pass onto the Route 62. After a quick coffee stop at the Old Cliff Hotel on the Western Cape-Eastern Cape border, we travelled further east to Correado Pass, then backtracked a short distance to the Storms River village in the heart of the Tsitsikamma forests. Hey Andre, how's it going, man?
Good and you, Craig.
Cool.
Welcome.
So you know, you and I have got a long history of segways in this village, and you've got a long history of the business in this village. Back in 2012, I remember we started segways in the village. A couple of ours and a couple of yours, and you grew it from there, and you've got 55 segways now?
Absolutely, we've got 55 running segways that we can do tours with. That means we can take any size group, we can take tour buses, we can turn a tour bus over in an hour.
What's the biggest amount of people you put in one group?
We try to keep the group smaller. We add more guides. So we try to keep it 6-7 people per guide.
Yeah.
And when it's a big group, we just split it up in little parts.
So now, to continue with the history, after the Segway business, then you guys bought the backpack, your wife Michelle and yourself bought the Tsitsikamma backpackers in the village, and you ran that for several years, and now you guys have bought the village lodge where we're staying now. So you've got quite a nice dynasty going on in the village here.
We started with only 7 segways. We grew the fleet up to where it was a suitable amount, and then we bought the Tsitsikamma backpackers, which is a bit different backpackers than your average backpackers. We're very family orientated. It's safe, it's friendly, it's clean. All the beds are king size beds, and from that little empire we started just adding onto the business, and eventually we bought the village lodge 4 years ago, and we added 4 more rooms. It's now a 10-bedroom lodge.
So you and I are going to go for a ride down through the town now and deep into Tsitsikamma forest.
That's it.
So let's go and have some fun.
The village lodge, nestled in the quaint Storms River village, started out as a hunting lodge in the late 1800s for the gentry who travelled on horseback from Cape Town and Port Elizabeth for hunting excursions in the nearby Tsitsikamma forest. Today, this pristine, family-oriented property, set in a beautifully manicured garden, offers comfortable accommodation in the way of 8 family and 2 double rooms. Each uniquely named ensuite room boasts pretty decor and comfortable bedding, with the addition of fresh flowers and home-baked biscuits. Breakfast is a hearty affair and includes fresh fruit, yogurt, muesli, muffins, and an ample hot breakfast. Stroll into the village and visit one of the many restaurants for lunch or dinner directly on your doorstep.
The extra day in Storms River Village gave us the opportunity to travel a short distance, about 14 kilometers drive, down to the picturesque Storms River mouth and take the magnificent suspension bridge hike. Leaving Storms River, we travelled east along the old R102 back road, adjacent to the N2 highway. We continue all the way through Humansdorp, Jeffreys Bay and Uitenhage, then up to Elephant House, a few kilometres from the Addo Elephant National Park for our overnight stop.
We've arrived at Elephant House in Addo in the Eastern Cape and just offloaded our luggage into one of the beautiful, beautiful stable cottages. There are 6 of these units, all set on this incredible green rolling lawn with this wonderful swimming pool, deck chairs, just an absolute sanctuary in this part of the world. 2 of them are family units that sleep 4, the balance of them sleep 2 people. There's an incredible amount of attention to detail in the way of the decor, the beautiful Keelam rugs. This is really catering upmarket accommodation. For the more discerning traveller, there are also 8 ensuite rooms in the main house for those people just wanting an overnight experience. Beautiful property, really highly recommended, and we are certainly going to come back in a private capacity, and we're going to enjoy this place for a few days longer.
It's best to allocate yourself a full day to visit and self-drive in Addo Elephant National Park. But if you're on a motorcycle, then safari vehicles are available from Elephant House or directly within sand parks inside the national park. Morning, how are you? Morning.
Morning,
Craig
Martin.
Marshall. All right.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so let's go. We can just start. Hop in. Addo Elephant National Park boasts over 600 elephants, and with abundant sightings of herds of elephants and other big game, it's a photographer's paradise.